On Friday, Judge Juan Merchan announced that he was going to be delaying Donald Trump's criminal sentencing for the 34 felony conviction accounts against him until November 26th, basically kicking the can down the road until after the presidential election. Now, most folks on the left definitely not happy about this. I am also not happy about this. But when you read Merchan's ruling, you kind of understand why he did it. Now, that doesn't necessarily make me feel all warm and fuzzy, but still, I can understand it. Now, one of the people who should have been celebrating this decision, of course, was Trump attorney Alina Habba, even though she, didn't do a good job on really any of the cases she's worked for him on, and she didn't specifically work on this case. She, for some reason, was one of the most vocal, angry people about this decision, because immediately after the judge said this, Alina Habba ran crying to Sean Hannity on Fox News, where she blasted the judge, even though Donald Trump just got most of what he wanted. But Alina Habba told Sean Hannity this: "It's a joke. There's so much wrong with this case. It should be completely admonished. The judge should be admonished, in my opinion, for not recusing, number one, for not dismissing, and for continuing to waste taxpayer dollars. This is a joke and an atrocity that the American people in the city of New York is seeing it. That's why they've got crime, and that's why people are fleeing." New York City has crime? Oh my God, they've got to be the only city in the country that actually has crime. And why they have crime, as Alina Habba says, is because they're going after Trump. That's why they have crime. Which might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard her say. For the record, by the way, the crime rate in New York's actually going down. And also, to counter her other claim, people are fleeing New York. No, they're not. That is flat out untrue. Businesses are also not fleeing, as they had a record number of new business applications just last year. Businesses are trying to get into New York. And if people are fleeing New York, it is not because of the crime rate, it is because of the astronomical cost of living in New York City. The people who have left have made that abundantly clear. But Alina Habba says that New York has crime because they're prosecuting Donald Trump, and apparently crime didn't exist in New York until that happened. Alina, let's not forget, Donald Trump was convicted by a jury. Okay, 34 felony counts, guilty on every single one. He is a felon. He is a convicted felon. So if you're going to whine about crime, you may want to take a step back and realize that even though you don't like it, Donald Trump is in fact, by definition, a convicted felon. So when you talk about that New York crime rate, he's literally a statistic in it. But she continued. "The fact that he is kicking the can down the road, while it is appreciated because he doesn't want to appear to be doing what I and you have called..." Hold up. I'm going to reread that because I want you to understand I didn't mess up. This is a transcript of what she said. "While it is appreciated because he doesn't want to appear to be doing what I and you have called election interference," which is what it is. Great. However, this case should be frankly dismissed. So hitting the can down the road, I appreciate, but quite honestly, Sean, this should be vacated in its entirety. First of all, it's kicking the can down the road, not hitting the can down the road. Just, a little semantic thing for you there. Not to mention the fact that you wouldn't say I and you would say you and I. One of the things that you want from a lawyer, and I can tell you this after more than 2 decades of working around some of the best lawyers this country's ever seen, you want them to be a good orator, right? They need to be able to speak, and by God, they got to be able to speak well because their words are what convinces courtrooms to go in their favor. I have never in my life heard any of these great attorneys, and I've interviewed a lot of the living members of the Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame, by the way. I would never hear any of them say, I and you are going to the store. No, they're not that dumb. Honest to God, it may seem simple, but again, as somebody that has worked around some of the best legal minds in this country, that I and you is so concerning to me. Like, I would never hire a lawyer that would make such an just absolutely dumb verbal screw up there. I and you. Holy hell. But anyway, the decision itself. And you know what? Before I even talk about that, she's mad that the judge didn't give them 100% of everything they wanted. The judge is not going to vacate this decision, nor should he. It's a jury conviction. The Supreme Court immunity ruling does not apply to it, according to the federal appellate judge. So I don't know why you're still whining about this. You weren't even technically involved in it, so Hannity shouldn't even be talking to you about it. But he did. She screwed up repeatedly, doesn't seem to understand what the legal issue is here, and of course she lied about people fleeing New York and about the crime rate. As for the decision itself, Merchan said this in the ruling. The litany of perceived and unsubstantiated grievances from previous filings by Trump that do not merit this court's attention, all dismissed, but he did agree to the delay, which the prosecutors also said, you know what, we're fine with the delay. This is not a decision this court makes lightly, but it is the decision which, in this court's view, best advances the interest of justice. The court is a fair, impartial, and apolitical institution. Postponing the sentencing should dispel any suggestion that the court will have issued any decision or imposed any sentence, either to give an advantage to or to create a disadvantage for any political party and for any candidate for any office. What we call that is a cover your ass moment. And again, I understand why he did it. Merchan has been getting death threats ever since he was assigned to the case. And I do think that plays a role in this, right? Like if he issues the decision in September, the MAGA freaks are coming at him full force, no matter what. So this is, let me protect myself, let me protect the courts, but most importantly, again, let's protect the election. Y'all think I'm going to interfere with it? I'll stay out. I won't give a decision till afterwards. So it probably is the best decision, but it doesn't mean we have to be happy about it. We do, however, still have to accept it. One of today's video sponsors is Lumen. If you're trying to lose fat or get leaner, then listen up, because this one's for you. If you're weightlifting, getting in your cardio and doing it all, from tracking your macros and meal prepping to taking your whey protein and creatine, but still not seeing the results you wanted, then the reason why might surprise you. It most likely has to do with your metabolic flexibility. I've been using Lumen for the past few weeks to help me understand how my body is burning energy. Am I burning carbs or I'm burning fat? And Lumen can help tell you that so that you understand where your body is in your journey. Whether, again, you're trying to lose weight or just get leaner or build muscle, Lumen can help you unlock your body's potential. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. With just one breath, first thing in the morning, Lumen can measure your metabolism. It lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and stress management. No more cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all nutritional plans. Lumen lets you know what's happening in your body in real time and builds you a personalized health plan based on your real-time data. Lumen gives you macro recommendations based on what's going on with your metabolism that day, so you can fuel your body with what's best for you. Then, right before a workout, just breathe into Lumen and it will tell you if you are burning carbs or fat. Lumen will tell you if you need to carb up before your workout for an energy boost or if you're all set to go. Using this biofeedback, Lumen puts you in the most optimal state to get the most out of your workouts. In the long run, these small changes really do add up, and it makes all the difference when trying to lose excess fat, gain muscle, and improve your metabolic health. So if you want to take the next step to a healthier, more fit version of yourself, go to lumen.me/ROF or just click the link below and you'll get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/ROF to get 15% off your Lumen device.